Well, guess what? I'm not going down like that. We're not going down like that. The people who voted for me deserve to have their voices heard and communities prioritized. I'm seeking the truth right now, just as much as you all are. But I will not be bullied, and I will not be disparaged, and I will not be threatened out of this office. There are a lot of radical right-wing forces who know they will never win an election in Oakland fair and square. They know their extreme views are at odds with our Oakland values, but they have built the rules to protect and preserve their power and maintain dominance over the rest of us.
And so we know that the work that we have done was actually great and it's positive. And it is because of doom loopers that continue to talk about nasty crimes in the city of Oakland that allows for people to believe that, somehow the crimes aren't coming down. And it is that fear mongering that you continue to do that actually suppresses a lot of people's feelings about Oakland. And I think that that's very unjust.
So Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao very much of the belief that there's too much negative news. In fact, she has pointed out to reporters, including myself, that there needs to be more focus on positive news, but clearly she is digging in her heels. The night is still young. Right now, 65% of those in favor of her recall, as well as the recall of District Attorney Pamela Price. Now,
Several months later.
Good evening and thanks for joining me. I'm Gia Vang. It's official. Retired Congresswoman Barbara Lee will be the next mayor of Oakland. Former City Council member Lauren Taylor has conceded to the veteran lawmaker. Move comes a day after the latest tally shows Lee with a sizable 5,000 vote lead. Today, Lee made her first appearance as a mayor-elect and at a community Easter event in Oakland. NBC Bay Area's Christy Smith was there and has more on the race results.
What's up, y'all? Gerald here, creator of Gospel Chops and your host for this YouTube channel, back with another video. Now, y'all, it has been long said that the definition of insanity is doing the same thing repeatedly while expecting a different outcome. And here we are, y'all, in the center, the heart of the Bay Area, where I was born and bred, still loyal to the soil to this day, but there's some things going on here that I can't get down with, that I can't agree with, some things that are going on in city government and statewide government. And I hope that this new Trump administration puts the smackdown on this entire state because God knows they deserve it. But we have in the city of Oakland, where they have elected this old Democrat retread to lead the city into better places, coming after Sheng Tao, who essentially turned Oakland into the modern day iteration of an old Asian gangster film. Well, the feds are coming down on her head and she has been recalled, thank God. But we are continuing this practice of electing what seems to be educated Black women. Seem like they smart. Seem like they're politically plugged in and they should know what they're doing. Take London Breed, for example. Former mayor of San Francisco, destroyed that once great city to the point where businesses started leaving. Even the 4-story Nordstrom downtown that was a centerpiece of San Francisco shopping, that 4-story Nordstrom with the gold escalator, gone. That's right. Thank you, London Breed, for destroying San Francisco. Then you got, good old Karen Bass, an old head Democrat retread that is dancing and partying and sipping wine in Africa while the Pacific Palisades burns to the ground under her watch. Yeah, y'all, these blackity black Democrat women are destroying California's great cities as we sit and watch. As many folks in this state continue to vote for the same. And now you got Oakland, California, who has just elected Barbara Lee, an old head Democrat retread, who they think is going to fix the mess left by Sheng Tao. Well, Sheng Tao did turn Oakland upside down. Yes, she did. Oakland has lost the A's, the Warriors, the Raiders, and now businesses are leaving in droves. Why? Because you had businesses who survived off of those teams in certain areas of the city, survived off the arenas, off the stadiums in certain areas of the city. Now they are no longer able to make money. You have lost In-N-Out, The first In-N-Out burger to close is in Oakland. And the owner did an interview recently to explain why she closed the store. She said, no, that store was profitable. Don't get it twisted. We made money there. It was good business. However, it was too unsafe to operate. You pull up real quick, run inside to go get a burger, you come back out, and your car is bipped. Nobody seen nothing. Sometimes police sitting in a parking lot right across the street. Should have saw it. Nah, they ain't seen nothing. They too busy, too distracted to even get involved anymore because Oakland has devolved into chaos. Well, Sheng Tao didn't try to fix it. Matter of fact, she expanded the problem with her own shenanigans. That's why the feds raided her home and cracked down on her head. But y'all mean to tell me you think Barbara Lee gonna fix this? Well, y'all must be crazy. You must be insane because you keep voting for the same thing over and over and over.
We're learning more about a wild shootout that may be connected to the federal corruption case involving former Oakland Mayor Sheng Tao and others.
Yes, we are hearing from the man targeted in that shooting and a neighbor who saw it all happen.
New at 6, ABC 7 News I-Team reporter Dan Noyes is here with the story. Dan.
Well, Dan and Ama, Mario Juarez is in a difficult place. He can't speak out because he could be a witness in that federal corruption case against former Mayor Sheng Tao and others. Still, he wants to know why police arrested 2 suspects in December for the shooting at his home, but released them without warning him.
You can still see a bullet hole in the rain gutter at Mario Juarez's house in the Fruitvale neighborhood, 9 months after the shootout.
And then it stopped there and it shot like 2 times.
Sheila Campos lives across the street. She tells me she was headed to work after 9 p.m. when she saw a car drive by 3 times, firing at Juarez's house and Suburban. On the last pass, Mario Juarez came outside with his .40 caliber Glock.
And he started shooting back, like firing back, pop, 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 pop. And the car just kind of skeeted off, but kind of fast. And he was in the middle of the street shooting, like trying to get him.
I've been speaking to Mario Juarez by an encrypted phone app. He tells me he can't be in Oakland right now because he still fears for his life. He sent a written statement first reported by the San Francisco Chronicle that says 2 suspects were nabbed in December 2024 tied to these attacks, but justice, it never came. Oakland police made the arrests, but the DA's office, just days after Pamela Price left office because of the recall, allowed the suspects to walk without charges and without informing Juarez that the men who may have shot at him were back on the streets.
It's an issue of safety, right?
Yes, absolutely. It's definitely an issue of safety.
Ernie Castillo is Mario Juarez's attorney.
When you have people coming to your house and you get into a shootout and people shoot at you, that's a huge concern. So we should have been notified by that former administration 100%.
Mario Juarez recently had a fraud case against him dropped. He was accused of bouncing checks for a mailer that supported Sheng Tao in her race for mayor. As part of that case, Juarez accused then District Attorney Pamela Price of demanding $25,000 from him to help her recall, saying when he refused, she filed the criminal case against him.
In that motion were declarations and statements by witnesses, including Mario Juarez, that the former administration had tried to shake down Mario for $25,000. And if he had not contributed to that campaign for $25,000, then they would charge him.
Through her attorneys, Price denied asking Juarez for money. Back to the shooting in June, neighbors confirmed to me that the day after the gunfire, the FBI canvassed the neighborhood looking for witnesses and surveillance video. And just 10 days later, agents raided the homes of then Mayor Sheng Tao, her partner Andre Jones, and David and Andy DeWong, owners of California Waste Solutions. They're all charged with conspiracy, bribery, mail-in wire fraud, and more. Federal prosecutors also claim Tao agreed to purchase modular units for the homeless from Evolutionary Homes, a company run by the DeWongs and Mario Juarez.
The product that we have is a single-family resident home.
Though he is not named in the indictment, Juarez appears to be unindicted co-conspirator 1 who acted as a go-between for the DeWongs and Sheng Tao. Now, Mario Juarez says they saw me as a threat, not because I'm perfect, because I wouldn't bow. They wanted me dead to keep their secret safe, to silence a voice that wouldn't shut up. They picked the wrong man.
With Oakland facing over $100 million deficit, y'all, you don't need an old Democrat, an old head politician to come in there and fix things, because they're not going to fix things. They're going to do the same thing that's always been done. Yeah, she insane just like the voters. What you need is a Doge on a municipal level. Somebody like an Elon Musk to come in and clean house and shake things up, tear some things down. Not tear it up like y'all tear it up in the sideshows, not like that. Not tear it up like y'all burn those cars out on the street that takes the city 2 weeks to even come and pick up the car that was left to burning. No, not tear it up like that. You just need somebody to get in there like a bull in a china shop, like a Donald Trump, just on a city level, and tear Oakland apart in order to rebuild it and make it great. Because as things stand, if things don't change drastically, Oakland is doomed.
Moving to the East Bay now, an Oakland police officer is recovering tonight after being attacked. It happened on International Boulevard near 105th Avenue on Friday afternoon. ABC 7 News reporter Ansar Hassan spoke to Oakland police, who are concerned this is an indication of crime trending upwards.
It happened fast.
I've been a police officer for 25 years. I've never encountered this. It's probably something you're not expecting.
Lieutenant Tim Donnellan with the Oakland Police Department says 2 officers were stopped at a red light on International Boulevard on Friday afternoon. The patrol car had its windows down. That's when the officer on the passenger side was hit in the face.
The officer was able to get out, defend himself, and the other officer helps out too, and they were able to take the person into custody.
Lieutenant Donnellan says the officer was transported to the hospital, evaluated, and is now back home. There's no indication the officer was targeted, and Oakland police aren't able to reveal much about the suspect, only saying he was taken into custody and placed on a mental health hold.
We can't get into specifics about who the person is. There's privacy rights related to that. And that case hasn't been charged yet. So there is, I know our criminal investigations division is following up with charging this for assaulting an officer.
Oakland police would not disclose the identity of the officer, but they did say the officer is a graduate of Oakland's most recent police academy. Oakland city leaders did not return requests for comment. The police union claims crimes are trending higher in Oakland this year compared to 2024, and that an assault like this is indicative of what's happening on the streets of Oakland at a time when OPD is facing budget cuts.
Homicides are up this year to where we were at last year. I was looking at some of the statistics this morning, and I think shootings are up 14% as well. I'm worried that crime is trending up, and we're seeing our staffing levels are going down. I'm a little worried about the future of how we're going to police the city if we keep losing officers.
Is hard to even talk about, the pain and the suffering, and what, once again, the Black community is going through as a result of the dehumanization of Black and brown people. And when you look at what is taking place, the culture, the police culture, we need reform. We need to dismantle these systems and these policies that allow police officers to get away, literally, in many respects, murder. And this is just another example. And this is, and I think President Biden in his statement talked about the trauma and the burden of Black and brown people that we carry all of the time. Yeah. And this is gut-wrenching. And so we have to come together and just say no more, dismantle these systems because they're based on implicit bias. They're developed to dehumanize people so that police officers can get away with murder.
Coming together and dismantling sounds nice. Congresswoman.
Yes.
On to the race for Oakland mayor today, candidate Lauren Taylor called former Congresswoman Barbara Lee to concede the race, congratulating her on her win. Taylor released the statement this morning, reading in part, "This morning I called Congresswoman Barbara Lee to congratulate her on becoming the next mayor of Oakland. While the outcome was not what we worked for and hoped for, I am incredibly proud of the race we ran." He goes on to say, "We ran this campaign with integrity, with bold ideas, and with an unshakable commitment to the people of this city." In her own statement, Lee said, quote, "I accept your choice with a deep sense of responsibility, humility, and love. Oakland is a deeply divided city. I answered the call to run to unite our community so that I can represent every voter and we can all work together as one Oakland to solve our most pressing problems." The results released yesterday showed Lee garnered about 52% of the vote, while Taylor had just over 47%. Barbara Lee attended an Easter carnival today in Oakland after Taylor conceded. She said she wanted to keep the focus on this community event, but she did briefly talk about her priorities after taking office.
Of course, public safety, meeting with our police chief, meeting with our department heads, our city administrator, really looking at all of the issues, our unsheltered population, how we're going to move forward with economic development and creation of jobs. Everything is on my website. But today, let's have a good time. But thank you for the question. But we intend to hit the ground running.
Now, with all these recalls, recalling the DA in Alameda County, recalling the mayor of Oakland, you got to think that some voter somewhere is interested in turning this thing around. Me personally, if I lived in Oakland, I'd just get up out of there. How you gonna raise a family when you can't be safe? Your kids can't play outside. You can't even go get fast food because all the fast food joints are leaving. Y'all, they lost Walmart in that Hagenberger corridor. You know, when you in the hood and Walmart won't even operate there, oh, it's bad. It's bad. Starbucks gone. Chick-fil-A gone. Denny's gone. Everything is gone. How do you eat, y'all? Oakland is down bad, but it seems like Oakland want to stay down bad because if you didn't, you would have put someone else in there that represented change. And what you did was elect Barbara Lee, who represents the same old that y'all been going through for decades as Oakland has faced this economic downturn and societal downturn. Now you are in chaos with regard to crime in the city. And the city is saying, well, we can't afford to stop it. We can't fund the police. We can't fund the fire department. We can't fund anything. So what you gonna do? Raise the taxes on the people? You would have to. You know why? Because you lost your business base. You lost the tax base that the businesses were paying into the city. The revenue is gone because the businesses are gone because the city operatives have made bad decisions. So what is a city to do? What is a voter to do when you want to hold out hope? Oakland used to be a beautiful place. Now Oakland looks like a burnt match. And these people act like they don't care. They act like they don't see it because they don't live where you live. And they operate with protection, private security, and such. Mrs. Mayor will be protected. She won't have to deal with what you Oaklanders deal with. She's still in the club. She's still in the party. That's why she's there. Was she elected or was she selected, y'all? Think about it. An old head, an old tired retread from the Democrat Party who ain't never ran a city. What does she have to offer? This is going to be Karen Bass all over again. But maybe sometimes you got to burn things down in order to rebuild them from the ashes. We'll see if that works for Oakland. I got to say, as I sit here, I doubt it very seriously. Y'all let me know what you think about this. Seem like Oakland crashing out all over again. I'd love to know your thoughts. Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and share the video so we can get more people involved in the conversation, y'all. And meet me over in Patreon. Link is in the description so we can further this discussion over there in ways that we cannot do here. And like I always say, always remember and never forget, without the gospel, it's just chops. Until next time, peace.